Before is when I first had the initial thought. It was quick and brief, but it did happen. And it was far as I was farther along, setting everything up. There was actually someone that was working with my mom that personally came to me and put the thought in my head, like, you're in this position in life. Do you really think you should be doing this? And I took offense to it at first. And then after I had him, I was like, whoa, I see what she was saying when, as my situation intensified after I had him. So, yeah, it was before. How did they start out? Where, how many adoptions do they do a year? Things like that. What are the requirements for an adoptive parent to come in and to start the adoption process? What type of people do they commonly see in their agency? Maybe a brief example of another adoptive parent's story, or adoptive, like counseling. Is there counseling? Is there support groups? What am I going to do after? How will you help me after? Or how will you be in my life? Will you completely go away? Will you support me step by step? Things like that. But after placement was going home and not seeing him there. As it was almost like I was in a trance coming here and then signing it, not really like unwillingly, but just, it was almost like a veil was over my emotions. And when I got home, I never really knew what a mother's cry was until I got home. Well, I felt supported in the sense they genuinely wanted me to do better. Like, they didn't just want the baby, they wanted me too. So, and that matters because, well, no one wants to feel robbed, like, I just gave my baby up and now I'm stuck with this non-supportive group of people and I don't even know where I'm going now. But I didn't get that feeling at all. It was, come to the birth mom groups, talk to me about how you're coping. If you need me, email me, and I was a mess at first. Like, I was really defensive and emotional, and they were so patient with me and kind, and they didn't get frustrated, or at least they didn't show that they were. And that's what helped. That was just the cherry on top of everything, because I needed all of that. All of it was just brownie points, It helped me cope. I really needed that. Yeah. When I first said to myself, it was like a domino effect. At first it was like, there's no way I could do that. And then it was like, I probably could if I needed to. And then it was like, maybe I should. And then it was, I need to do this. And the longer I thought about it, the more it made sense. And every situation is different. And for mine, it was just safety and me not wanting to be a statistic, and me not wanting him to be a statistic. And the more I thought, I made a list one time, and to the pros and cons, and it was more cons for me than it was for him. And it was more pros for him than it was for me. And that's when I just made the decision, I gotta do this, because if I stay here and I keep him in this shell, my shell, will it really be a good thing right now? Would it really turn out how he needs it to turn out? Not me. No, it wouldn't have. And when you get that straight answer within yourself, it's just, you go through with it or you don't. And I went through with it, and as hard as it was, it just felt right, because not one time did I say, this is what I want. It's always been what he needed. So no, I didn't want to do it. I didn't find joy in the fact that I'm not going to have him anymore. I just knew that's what needed to be done. I honestly, when I thought to myself after the placement and signing the papers and going home, I'm like, my whole world is just going to end now, and I'm going to fall off the face of the earth, and I'm going to probably start doing drugs and be this bad person. And I just did not do that. I did for a while. I did fall off my rocker completely, and then had to regroup. Like, you have to regroup after something like that, because you can't just go through traumatic events and then give your child up and then just forget all about it, pretend it never happened. Because I know that's how some people cope, is they put it in the back of their head and they try to forget it. Even if you forget it, your body doesn't forget it, your heart doesn't forget it. People still mourn things they don't even remember. So, like, I had to get right with God. I had to get right spiritually. I had to get right emotionally. I had to know what I wanted out of my life. And for a period of time, it just stopped completely. And I didn't even want to live for real. And it gave me a new purpose. The whole adoption and the people I met. It's really humbling and like a whole profound experience that happened. What I struggled with was outsiders.
That's good.
People, not even before the adoption, it was after. And like I said, the beginning of after signing the papers and going home, and people don't see you with your baby anymore, and they're asking questions and they're judging you, because I got sick of people asking me, and I just became completely open about it. Like, I'm a birth mom, I don't have him. He's with a very nice family, and people will judge you just by you saying I gave them up for adoption. They will create this whole scenario in their head of what they think happened, and then, I could never give my child up. How could you ever do something like that? Asking personal questions, and those was the hardest. It's gonna be okay. That's what I was struggling with, is being okay, like just day to day. Like, the hardest part is telling yourself that, convincing yourself that, and then once you convince yourself, like, it's all gonna be all right, everything else follows suit. And I would tell them to pray about it, like really try to, when you're doing something selfless, you don't have to try, but just try to think of your baby first before you do anything, because when you do that, irrational decisions are minimized a lot when you just think them, not me, them, not me. And that just because you think of you and I can't live without my child, or I can't tend to my child, just because you think that does not make it a true actual fact. You will survive and you will overcome, regardless if you're adopting or you're not, or you're just thinking about it, or you're considering it, or you do plan on raising this baby, you just don't know right now, it's going to be okay. Like, it's going to be okay. That's what I needed to know. I needed to be reminded that all the time. Just, it's going to be all right.